Hello. Well, it's me again, and today I'm just going to give you a short talk about power and a little bit of authority. I'm not going to go into too much detail here because I don't have a lot of time, but I have a few points here. Energy cannot be created and destroyed. We all know that. Okay. So, going on to power and energy. Power and energy. Same thing, basically. Two different terms. So you can think about power, you can think about energy, there's all different forms. There's tons of forms of power or energy. You can think of it as physical power, like electricity, kinetic force, that kind of thing. There are social kinds of power, like political power, economic power, money, wealth, or you can think of democratic power, like voting, rotation, that kind of thing. There is, spiritual power, emotional power, like, attention, affection, love, that kind of thing. Focusing your psychic abilities, that kind of thing. But there's all kinds of different forms of power. And what I said before, it cannot be created or destroyed. Just converted from one form into another form. So basically, if you take money, you can convert that into a physical object. Or if you take that physical object, say food, and convert that into strength, physical strength, and then convert that into, say, something you do for something else, and that changes and becomes something they feel or think, and so on and so forth. One form of power becomes another form of power becomes another form of power. Okay, we've established that. Okay, so when you have everyone's going on about this debate about centralized power versus decentralized power, and I actually support decentralized power. However, centralized power and decentralized power operate more or less the same way, in that a node of decentralized power operates the same way as a node of centralized power. If you have picture you have a generator here, okay? Let's picture you have something being generated, and that generator is powered by smaller generators, okay? Or a battery and a bunch of generators. If you have a battery and that's powered by one big generator, that's centralized power, okay? Now, say you have the same battery, and it's powered by a bunch of smaller batteries. Say one big battery that's 10 units of power per second or something like that. Then, and then a bunch of and a small bunch of generators that power 1 unit of power per second. It's the same amount of power, but more distributed. Now, say you took one of those generators and you upgraded it, or grew it, or made it stronger by whatever means. Now, that generator, that creator of power, is becoming stronger in its own right, and will create more power, and will direct more power, and you can attach more stuff to it. Therefore, it's becoming a larger center of power. Can you picture this? That's each of us. That's each person in their own right, is the center of power. So basically, when you decentralize something, you create smaller nodes of power. But if you focus energy, money, wealth, power, whatever, on any one of those nodes of decentralized power, they're going to become a centralized form of power in their own right. And it's going to happen all over again. You'll have to decentralize them all over again. So basically, it operates the same way. And this is what I go on about when I start talking about money pooling or political focusing of power and all that kind of thing, which I'll get into later in different talks. Okay? So, I'm just gonna... Okay. So, basically, my next point is going to be to evolve. We need to... Evolution requires us to be self-directed. Now, I can post a link to a TED Talk I watched a while ago on robotics and stuff, but essentially, in order for what I watched was basically how we are discovering that in order to create more advanced AI, and everything we've observed in our own psychology, that we need, in order to advance, we need to be self-directed. Every time we stray away from that, well, things go downhill. So, people want freedom. They want to be self-directed. They want to choose what they're doing with their lives. And every time someone applies force to that, it just doesn't work. They rebel, they feel oppressed, they feel constrained, and sooner or later, resentment builds up, and you have a rebellion on your hands. And people are not machines. People are not machines. In that they're not tools. They have a soul, they have a spirit, they have things they want to do with their lives. And it comes back to this fundamental property of evolving requires us to direct our own evolution. And until we do that, we stop growing. This is on the most basic level. Mutation, self-direction, improvisation, that kind of thing. I can go on for this for a long time, but that's the gist of it. Okay? So, when you apply your will to someone against their will, you have opposing forces here. Okay? And that's just they're going to rebel eventually. Okay? But when you act in harmony with them, some people like to be directed. Some people like that. Some people like to be self-directed. Some people like to conform. Some people don't. It's all a matter of acting in harmony with them. If you want to lead, find people who want to be led. If you want to, find out what. If you want to do something, find people who agree with you. If you have a value, find people who are in harmony with that value. It doesn't matter what you want. Find people who agree with you, are in harmony with you, are in sync with you, and it will just all flow and work its way out. Okay? So, I'm going to touch here on authority. I'll do another talk later on, more detailed on authority. But basically, authority is when you channel someone else's power. So, that might sound like a really strange idea, but when someone focuses on you and willingly gives you their power, they're also giving you authority over them. Okay? And they might not do this intentionally. A lot of people don't know this because they're so used to doing it. They're so used to seeking approval. They're so used to, giving their power away to something, someone, whatever. And a lot of people don't realize this is being done or realize how much influence they have over others. They just don't think about it because they don't even realize what their own power is or how much borrowed power they have. So that's kind of how this whole thing works. You have to be aware of this kind of thing, And abuse happens basically when two things happen. One, when you don't realize that your power is someone else's power. So when your power is the result of someone channeling their power into you and acting in accordance with your will, because they're focusing their attention on you and giving you their power. And also when your actions are not in harmony with them. So basically, if someone's seeking your approval, or if someone actually sees you as an authority figure, then you don't treat them well, that's out of sync. You're out of sync. They feel abused, they feel betrayed, they feel they feel like their rights have been violated, whatever. And things go downhill. They rebel, they stop following you, they stop seeking your approval, they stop trying to do what you want, and you lose power. And some people are okay with that. Some people don't care about getting people's approval. That's fine. But, and that's why I'm playing into this whole thing about sentience before, because basically, that's the dynamic. Basically, if you are in sync with someone, if you're seeking their consent, and if you do something against their consent, if you do something against their will, if you do something against their channel of power, then they're going to basically fall out of sync with you and into opposition with you. And these are some basic concepts I'm trying to get across here. And sometimes it's just a matter of they'll just go away and find other people. Sometimes they'll actively oppose you. That kind of thing. So, it just depends what you do. And these concepts work not just for people, not just for people, organizations, physics. You get something that's not working, it might just because it's an opposing energy. Positives and negatives, that kind of thing. Anyway, this is my short little talk. I'm sure I will work on it later, but right now I've got to get ready to go and do other stuff. So, have a good night, and blessed be, and ciao.